Go.
Hey guys, we're at the farmers market today, and we're gonna talk about carnivals. Ask them if they like carnivals. Hey guys, yeah, we found some locals, and hey guys, do you guys like carnivals?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
We're at Anarchy Coffee Roasters. Do you like carnivals?
Oh yeah.
What do you like about carnivals?
Food.
What do you like about carnivals? Clowns.
Clowns.
The what? Roller coasters.
Is it on?
What do you like about carnivals?
The smell.
The
You get the smell of like the cooking donuts, or you get you get a little bit of the grease from the ride and everything. And it just takes me right back to when I was a young kid. The excitement from walking through afterwards.
What do you like about carnivals, Jen from Hymology?
Nothing.
You heard it here first.
I don't like, you know what, if I want to go to a carnival, I'll go to my BR.
Okay, go off, Jen.
And that's fun. That's fun.
Thanks, Jen from Hymology. Alright, what do you like about carnivals?
I've actually never been to a carnival before, so...
Wow!
Hey guys, it's Emily, and in case you don't know who I am one of the young adults here at the church, and I get the privilege of hanging out with the amazing grade 8 girls every week. So today, I wanted to talk about the different distractions or priorities that we have that take us away from spending time with God. Once upon a time, I was a middle school student like some of you, but I was obsessed with the show Once Upon a Time. See what I did there? Did you know that they filmed the show in Canada? And not only that, but a mere 4 hours away from where we live? My family was so obsessed with the show that we even went down to Steveston multiple times and watched them film. I got to meet the cast, and we even went to a Once Upon a Time convention. Suffice to say, I love this show a lot. Now, you may have never seen Once Upon a Time, but I bet there is something that you love wholeheartedly like I did. Maybe it's not a show, but it could be a celebrity, a hobby, or maybe even your phone. But what is that thing for you? As I mentioned before, Once Upon a Time is my favorite show. At times, it could be all I would talk about. If people from my school remembered me for one thing, they would remember that I liked the show. However, Once Upon a Time became a huge distraction in my life. Not only would I skip school to watch them film the show, but I would think about it when I was at school, when I was at church, or even when I was reading my Bible. In the times when I tried to focus on other things, I couldn't because all I could think about was the show. If I tried doing something else, part of me just wished I could watch this show instead. The show even used to air on Sundays, so instead of thinking about church on Sundays, we'd refer to that day as Wednesday. In 1 Corinthians 7 verse 35, Paul was writing a letter to the Corinthians, and it says, "I am saying this for your benefit, not to place restrictions on you. I want you to do whatever will help you serve the Lord best with as few distractions as possible." Now, Paul was writing to the Corinthians, however, I think this verse applies to us too. Paul isn't saying we can't watch our favorite show or do something we love, but he wants us to be able to serve the Lord to our best of our abilities with little distractions. If our distraction is something that is pulling us away from God, then it may be more than a distraction. As much as I love my distraction, it really wasn't helping me get closer to God. Now imagine if I put that same time into God that I had this show. How much closer of a relationship would I have with him? I'd probably have read my Bible more, and instead of being known as the girl that liked Once Upon a Time, I might have been known as the girl who had a heart for God. Honestly, the more I think about this, Once Upon a Time was not only a distraction, but it started becoming more of an idol in my life. It was something that I would put before God. Sometimes it can be hard to put God first in our lives when we're distracted by these earthly things. Now, I'm not saying once upon a time was necessarily a bad thing in my life, or that the things we choose to spend our time on are bad at all. These things can bring us joy in our lives, and that's a good thing. The problem lies when this thing becomes more important than God. For me, this show was an idol in my life in the way that it wasn't strengthening my relationship with God, and more so probably pulled me away. I looked at the characters of this show rather than God. There's definitely a balance with these things in our lives. There can be bad things that pull us away from God. These are the things that distract us so much that we will prioritize them before God. It could be a show that we know we maybe shouldn't be watching, or the pursuit of fame and money, or maybe even a video game. But there are good things that we can enjoy too that bring us closer to God. It could be going out for hikes to admire God's creation, or maybe it's listening to music. Or it could be journaling. For my sister, she would say dancing brings her closer to God. And then there are also those things that fall right down the middle, that aren't inherently good or bad. These things might lean more to one side at times, but they aren't bringing you closer or pulling you away from God. What are some of these things in your life? So we know that we have these idols in our lives. Now, how can we put our attention on God? I've definitely changed a lot since middle school. While I still love Once Upon a Time and will gush endlessly if asked about it, it no longer holds that top place priority in my life. I've been able to grow closer to my relationship with God by praying to Him more often, and not just about things I want in my life. I listen to worship music more than I used to, and I try to find ways that I can serve Him more in my life. In Luke 6, verse 45, it says, "A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." What this verse is saying is that the things that we spend most of our time on are the things that we are probably going to talk about the most. Because I spent so much time watching Once Upon a Time, evidently, it became all I talked about. So if we spend our time growing closer to Jesus, then you'll be able to share the love of Jesus with more people. As I grew closer to God, there was a change in myself and how I acted around other people. I started talking more about God with my friends and my family. I remember when one of my friends even reached out to me to pray for her. I talked to her about God so much that she could reach out to me when she needed someone to pray for her. If people looked at me as someone who loves God and someone who shows others the love of Jesus, that makes me incredibly happy. So how can you put God first in your life this week? It could be as simple as praying to Him when you get up in the morning, or maybe even starting a devotional with your small group. Maybe for you, it's one of your hobbies that brings you closer to Jesus, such as dancing, hiking, or even journaling. Maybe it's reading a book in the Bible you've never read before. Talk in your small groups about what that thing is for you.